Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo and today is Monday, March 26th, 2018. Let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. So far this season, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding a few athletes fighting it out at the top of the women's physique division. But somehow, in the midst of all the action, I haven't heard anywhere near enough love for the certified greatness of second place Olympia finisher Jennifer Taylor. Over the weekend, Taylor dropped a short clip from one of her latest back training workouts, and hopefully that little warning shot was enough to remind everyone of just how deadly she was once the ball started rolling last year. Pound for pound, Taylor is one of the most complete athletes in the division. But with the way the top of the class is starting to shape up, it'll be interesting to see exactly where she fits in with the new group of hungry young athletes. If you're the number 2 ranked athlete on the planet in your particular craft, I don't think you can seriously play the nobody believed in me card. But right now it does sort of feel like there's no one out there talking about 212 super powerhouse Ahmad Ashkanani. Late last week, the Ashkanani camp released their first training clip in many moons that shows the big guy putting himself through the paces of a monster back session. I don't know if it's because he's not the new hot thing anymore or because he's relatively low profile, but it almost boggles the mind at how his name barely comes up in the 212 conversations right now. But I can guarantee you one thing, that when the dust finally settles come Olympia time, Ahmad Ashkanani will have somehow, some way done whatever it takes to end this year having just about everyone in the division in his rearview mirror. You know that someone's carved out a place in the cultural pantheon when they're known by only one name, and one name only, like Arnold, Dorian, Ronnie, and Haney. But if you have one name that's really 2 names, does that make you twice as good? I don't know. So I guess now I'll just have to take the wait and see approach, like everyone else, with 212 Olympian Ahmad Ahmad. Late last week, the man who might be able to lay claim to having the best abs in the business started to float a few new progress updates, hinting that he might be bringing his talents to the stage sometime here in the near future. Even though he flew relatively under the radar last season, don't let that lull you to sleep, because after almost 24 pro shows in his decade-long career, Ahmad has never placed outside the top 10 in a non-Olympia event. So whenever or wherever he finally decides to drop in, you can all but guarantee that he'll find a way to make sure that his name is in the mix. There aren't too many shows on the schedule that you're going to circle as a destination trip, even if you're an uber bodybuilding fan. But if you're one of those people thinking about heading out to Southern California in May to check out the action at this year's Cal Pro, it's looking more and more like you'll be seeing veteran big man Jon Anderson bring his talents to the stage for the first time this year. Recently, I've heard some rumblings that the 290-pound Anderson is in the early phase of his Cal Pro prep, where he'll be hoping to come back and improve on last year's solid performance. Pound for pound, Anderson has enough quality muscle to hold his own against most of the athletes headlining this year's lineup. But if you can figure out how to tighten up that conditioning a little more this time around, I think he's got a legitimate shot at carving out a spot in the first call-out. Sometimes I have to laugh to myself when I see some of these imbeciles on social media using fake weights to pump up their egos for likes and comments. But I promise you this, there ain't a damn thing fake about the weights you're seeing my old friend Juan Morel move right now. Over the weekend, the vintage Juan Diesel training clip started to make its way around the internet, where we see Juan giving a pair of 160-pound dumbbells a ride in his morning shoulder workout. Fans of Juan Morel know well that when you see him cranking like this, it's a good omen for what's coming down the road. And I'd be willing to bet just about anything that we'd see him come out and deliver a trademark performance in front of his home crowd at the New York Pro this coming May. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.